What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and Empires and Puzzles has brought us not one, not two, but three brand new legendary Halloween seasonal heroes. I'm going to give them grades and break them down, but this video is going to be all Halloween themed as I actually started playing a new game that I want to show you, and you can get free stuff with that too, including a Halloween event that's coming up for that, so stay tuned to find out. Alright, so at this point in Empires and Puzzles, there's been several seasons of Halloween heroes, and I've covered them all before, including some really cool Halloween costumes. Of course, take note that those videos are at least a year old or older. I do want you to go check them out if you want to, but they're a little outdated at this point. A lot of those grades would probably be lower because they're releasing such powerful heroes, including the heroes we're going to go over today. Before I get started, a quick message from our sponsor, Bloodline Heroes of Lithis. This is one of the most beautiful games I have ever played, and the best part is you can combine your champions to make them even stronger. And with the exciting new update they just released, you can actually create hybrid champions. So download the game with the link in the description of this video or the QR code and you'll get an amazing starter pack. Most games will allow you to upgrade your heroes, and in Bloodline not only can you do that, but you can create your own mythical champions through the unique marriage system by combining the bloodline of elves, demons, demigods, orcs, dwarves, lycans, dragonborn, and more. This lets you create over 800 hybrids, inheriting the traits and even the appearance from the parent champions. So basically, you can summon for champions, but it's up to you to combine them, marry them, and make them the most powerful champions you possibly can. And of course, Halloween's coming up, so that means there's going to be a new vampire clan called the Accursed. And by participating in the Halloween event, you can get a free Accursed hero on the 7th day. I started playing Bloodline and I'd like for you to join me because it has visually stunning 3D graphics, super easy controls, you build your own kingdom and economy, and you can raise heirs with companions, which, by the way, you can change the genders of the companions, and the higher your intimacy with them, the more powerful your offspring will be. So download and try the game for free by using my link in the description of this video or by scanning the QR code, and you'll get a really great starter pack that includes 10 energy potions, 100,000 gold, and 100 diamonds. And of course, you'll want to do this now so that you can get your free vampire champion this Halloween starting on October 27th. Okay, now I'm about to break these heroes down, but if after you download Bloodline Heroes of Lithis, you want to see more of that game on this channel, please let me know in the comments. That'll let me know how interested you are in it. Okay, let's take a look at Alucard. Alucard, I believe, is the face of this particular seasonal summons. They seem to really be advertising him, and so in some ways, I think that kind of makes him the chase hero, but let's see if he lives up to the hype. He is a fire hero of the sorcery class. Sorcery is not one of my favorites, but also there's not a ton of great sorcerers out there. There are, of course, some, but what that means is you probably have a lot of emblems available for this guy, so that's just something to take note of. Of course, Alucard is part of the Morlovia family, getting a bonus for that, 1, 2, or 3 heroes, and that is plus 3, 6, or 12% mana generation, which is really powerful because all of the Halloween heroes are already known for being pretty fast, and Alucard is too. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but you can make them even faster this way. There's also another passive here. This one's really interesting, Steel Buff. When this character casts their special skill, they have a 100% chance to steal the newest dispellable buff from a random enemy that has buffs. If no enemy has buffs, deals 70% damage to all enemies. My gosh, that's a great passive. That could almost be like written on a regular special because we don't typically see something like that going off. The passives on these heroes are just getting better and better, and they're sneakier and sneakier like this because, well, I think a lot of people tend to forget about them. But okay, let's take a look at the stats here. 838 attack. That's just massive. That's amazing. 788 defense, and then 1411 HP. So those are pretty average this day and age as far as like defensive stats, but the attack is really, really nice. Vampiric Curse is the special at very fast speed. So, you know, what that means is, you know, if you have mana troops, you can set this guy off after just 2 matches as long as you level up the mana troops enough. Destroys all minions from the target and nearby enemies. Deals 250% damage to the target and nearby enemies. That's a lot of damage for how much attack this guy has, and the fact that it can just punch right through minions is pretty amazing. For very fast speed, hitting 3. Anyway, okay, all allies recover 10% health for each destroyed minion. All allies get 3% mana for each destroyed minion. And the attack bypasses defensive buffs. This includes counterattack. Wow. Okay. This is a lot for a very fast hero. You don't typically see this much text on a very fast hero. And he's doing everything from dealing damage to getting rid of minions to gaining mana to gaining health and just going right through defensive buffs. Yeah, please give me this hero. He's really, really good. You know, when you think about what you're going to do with this guy, he is absolutely an offensive hero. Like, he's a guy who you just want to take with you, especially in wars where there's a lot of problematic minions. You can really pick and choose where you want this guy to go. And for that reason, I kind of think you want multiples of him, because you can take him on multiple attacks. With a lot of the big minions that exist these days, like, I'll tell you what, some of the heroes they've released recently make just really big minions. This guy's going to slice right through them. He's going to deal with them very easily. And so he's probably one of the best. He's probably the best minion hate hero at this point. Now, with that hit 3, the target and nearby enemies, I do want to point something out. I don't usually love that because oftentimes you're only hitting 2. Now, if you're on offense, you can maximize where you're hitting and then try to hit 3 with him, and that's probably often going to happen. But if you put Alucard on defense, he's often gonna target the end hero, and so oftentimes only hitting 2. Plus, if you think about it, as soon as one hero is taken out on either team, you can only hit 2. Usually, if it's the middle hero that's out, you definitely can only hit 2. If it's like the left flank or right flank, sometimes you can still hit 3 if you go to the other side. But basically, as the match goes on, the special's not quite as good. However, if you're managing the board and getting rid of other heroes, maybe it won't matter so much. Quite honestly, that's not much of a downside for all of the upside that we just read. Definitely an offensive hero. So can he be used on defense? Sure. But I don't think he can be used exclusively on defense. That's for sure. There's a lot of red heroes I probably would use more than Alucard on defense, only because usually on defense I think you want like a big area of effect hitter, not just to hit 3, but like hit the entire team. So there is that to consider. I do think he is going to be really good in like events and tournaments and things like that too, because you can get him to go off really fast with just a couple of matches. And, you know, especially in events where there's minion heroes, like you want to bring him along. And then, of course, in the tournaments on offense, it's going to be really, really good. Defense, you know, like I said, he's so-so on defense. He's going to be better than a lot of heroes in the past because just look at his stats and look at his speed. But again, there's still a couple of heroes I'd want more. For this reason, I'm going to give Alucard an A. I don't think the downsides I talked about are enough to bump him any further down than just a straight A. This guy is the face of the seasonal summons, and he is for a reason. Next up, we have Miriam and Midnight, who is an ice hero of the wizard class. And also, of course, the Morlovia family. We talked about that bonus already. And then also we have another steel buff passive, which is really, really good, as we just discussed. 778 attack, 824 defense, and 1483 HP. This is a lot tougher of a hero than Alucard was. The attack is not quite as high, but Miriam and Midnight should stick around a lot longer. They have better longevity. Litter of Kittens is the special at average speed. Summons a blue kitten minion for the caster and nearby allies. Blue kitten minion inherits 40% HP and 20% attack from the caster. That's a massive minion, the kind of massive minions we were just talking about that Alucard needs to deal with. And then the minion recovers 15% health for its owner at the end of each turn. So this is also a healer. The blue kitten minion lifts the newest cleansable status ailment from its owner and adds it to the hit target. The caster and nearby allies get plus 45% attack and a further 20% increase each time they're hit during 4 turns. And the caster and nearby allies regenerate 672 boosted health over 4 turns. The boosted health can exceed max HP. Again, a ton of text. This is an average speed hero, so what that means is if you do put a big enough mana troop on it, you can basically get it to go off at functionally fast speed. I know people have a problem with me saying functionally fast because it's not fast. I know it's not fast. But it's functionally fast because you get it to go down from having to make 4 matches to 3 matches, and that is huge in this game. All right, so, looking at this, again, you have another hero who seems to be doing it all. Creating minions this big is, first of all, kind of like healing on its own, but the healing can get out of control when then the minion's recovering 15% health for its owner at the end of each turn. So this is going to be a sneaky, powerful type of longevity effect. But not only that, it's cleansing, it's increasing attack. I mean, not only is it increasing health through minions and like regular heal, it's also boosting health. This is going to be a really troublesome hero to try and deal with, and I guess that's why they have Alucard. I am also going to give Miriam and Midnight an A. I think I might be a little higher on Miriam and Midnight than some people, but this is a really good hero. I think it's going to be better for defense than offense, but this is still certainly going to be amazing on offense too. But this is more of a defensive type of specialist, but I think you can use it in almost any circumstance. And lastly, we have Matilda, who is a holy hero of the monk class. Again, getting the Morlovia family bonus and steel buff as well. With 803 attack, 809 defense, and 1446 HP. As far as base stats go, Matilda is probably the most balanced of the three new heroes. Muffin Poisoning is the special at average speed, so once again, with the mana troops, you can make it functionally fast. All enemies receive 324 poison damage over 3 turns. Summons a Muffin Fiend for all enemies. The Fiend damages the enemy with 38% attack each turn. The Muffin Fiend absorbs healing and disappears when it has absorbed health equal to 35% of its target's max health. Each hit from the Muffin Fiend has the following effect. The target takes plus 50% increased damage from status ailments for 3 turns, and there is a 50% chance to refresh the duration of the status ailment with the least turns remaining. Again, another mouthful of text for this hero that comes out. So now, instead of minions, we're making fiends. Not only are we making fiends, but we are emphasizing or exacerbating the amount of status ailment damage that's being done. So, of course, Matilda does give all enemies 324 poison damage, which is actually quite a lot for all enemies. And not only that, but then is going to absolutely blow it up by using the fiends, taking plus 50% increased damage from status ailments. So there's a lot of synergy potential here where you can use Matilda and other status ailment heroes to just do tons and tons of damage. I think at first look, Matilda's not looking that strong, except that the amount of synergies mean that Matilda could potentially be a top tier type hero if you have the right other heroes. Now, that does depend on having the other correct heroes to really support this. But I think it's possible with the amount of heroes in the game today. So where is Matilda going to be used? I actually think that Matilda is probably best on defense, where you can just mix and match her with a bunch of other status ailment heroes. And so do take note of that. She's not going to be super fast on offense. The thing with this poison damage over 3 turns, excuse me, is that it takes a while, right? It's kind of slow. And on offense, you have to be really fast. So, when you're fighting on offense already, it is taking a little while for your specials to go off. The defense always seems to go off much faster than the offense to begin with. Not only that, but Matilda's then going to have to apply the poison damage and then just let it go for a few turns. You don't often have that few turns to do it. So I think Matilda's more of a defensive hero where when she can go off first and apply this poison damage to everybody and then all the fiends and then they're doing their work, that's really hard for the offense to deal with. It really starts nickel and diming the offense that's attacking. And if Matilda gets to go off a second time and other status ailment heroes go off, the offense is going to have a really, really hard time. Now, did you notice something else with these 3 particular heroes that I think is kind of cool? It's kind of a rock, paper, scissors kind of deal where the first hero we talked about deals with minions. The second one we talked about does do minions. And then you have Matilda here who's doing fiends. I don't know. It's just kind of a cool rock, paper, scissors effect. I don't think Matilda's quite as good as the other 2, but I absolutely think she could be an A hero with the right synergies. It just depends on you having those heroes. A lot of people will, but I'm going to give Matilda an A-. only taking a little knock off of it because of the dependency on the other heroes and not necessarily being able to use Matilda so much on offense, but she's a strong hero too. All three of these heroes are strong. So make sure to tell me in the comments what you think. Of course, I'm just speculating here. If you get these heroes and you've tried them out, I want to know how they are. There's a lot of time left in this Halloween event, so good luck to you. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.